I had both the best and the worst time ever. I'm going to tell you everything from the moment that I got on the plane, okay, to when I got home. So you guys know my streaming backpack. It kind of, to some people, it looks a little sus. The first lady before, she like loads it into the bin. She does like a sanity check. She like opens it. I have never seen someone more scared in my entire life, dude. She was like, she was terrified of this bag. So she calls her supervisor over. They look, supervisor, petrified. Now I'm sitting there like, I can explain the whole thing. Like, I can talk about what all those parts are. They're like, okay, you're gonna have to. We're gonna send this through the x-ray. It's gonna 100% get talked about, and we need to figure this out. Goes through the x-ray, pushes it to the side. Okay, whatever, let's go through it. Rips open the bag, without skipping a beat, reaches in, pulls out a tube of toothpaste, says you can't bring this on, throws it aside, zips up my bag and gives it back to me. Didn't even remotely question it. Oh, okay, I'll make sure I'm aware of that next time. And she's like, yeah, you're good. Have a good day. Zips it right back, sends me on my way. Okay, my flight was at about noon, and it's supposed to be about 3 hours to San Diego from Vancouver. There was no TVs on our plane. It was one of those planes where you had to like, it had like a holder so you could like put your own iPad, right? Didn't matter to me. I just listened to music. I tried to sleep the entire time. But the dude who was sitting kind of across the aisle and one seat in front of me had his massive iPad Pro up there, like, and full brightness. He was watching 50 Shades of Grey. I was sitting there, like, at first I didn't notice because I was kind of half asleep. And I remember like looking over right as they're raw dogging it. So then now I'm in this weird battle where I kind of want to see if he's like gonna get caught. Like, so I kind of like keep looking over and like looking around. I'm seeing who else is watching. Like, oh, it's kind of strange. Like, kind of rest a bit and then like open my eyes, seeing them just have sex again. I'm like, ah, very cool. Then I realized that across the aisle from me was probably like a 9-year-old boy. So he was in the seat behind the guy who was watching 50 Shades. This 9-year-old boy definitely figured out what was in front of him. And he was like trying to lean to the side. And I'm sitting there like, oh, dude, no, stop. Like, am I supposed to be the responsible one and tell him like, no, you should not be watching this? Someone had their awakening on that flight. It was at that moment that kid knew exactly what he wanted going forward. He watched the entire movie. It's a 2-hour movie. He watched the entire 2-hour movie, which is fair. It's a 3-hour flight. Okay. So, you know, getting the movie in, whatever. But it was at this moment that I realized we had been flying for longer than 3 hours. I looked and realized that we were above San Diego and that we had been looping for a little bit. You know, looping an airport is common. It's usually like you're waiting for a plane to land or an opening. The problem was San Diego decided to have its one storm of the year and close the entire airport. Over 100 flights were either canceled or delayed in and out of San Diego. After a little bit of circling San Diego, because we were waiting our turn, basically, we were waiting for the airport to reopen so we could land, the pilot comes on the intercom and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, just want to give you a heads up as to why we've been circling San Diego for the past 45 minutes. You know, airport's closed. We're just looking for an opening. Turns out we waited too long. We're running out of fuel. That's where he ended the sentence. What do you mean you're running out of fuel? You can't end the sentence with that. I don't care how safe we are. Because everyone on that plane started fucking panicking, dude. And I'm sitting there like, oh, dude, this is gonna be a fire Twitch video when I get back. So anyways, after like maybe announcing that and being off the mic for like 10 seconds, he comes back, he's like, so we have enough fuel to get back to LA. We're gonna go land at LA and we'll refuel and assess the situation there. We flew all the way back to Los Angeles, landed the plane, refueled, sat on the tarmac for 2 hours before finally being like, hey, we've been cleared to land in San Diego. We're gonna take off. My 3-hour flight turned into a 6.5-hour flight that kind of sucked. That was kind of a terrible way to go, but I arrived at the Airbnb. I finally got to meet Maddie. Maddie's been in chat a bunch of times, you guys. We played games with her for like the last year and a half. That was day 1. Day 2 was Wednesday for me, okay? Day 2 was when we went to Legoland. And I streamed it. I might cut that down to a video. I don't know. It was okay. I think my biggest issue with Legoland, dude, is that it's run down and kind of garbage. Like a lot of the event, like a lot of the displays look like they haven't been cleaned, look like they haven't been like painted and touched up. Like it was like if I brought my family there, I'd be pretty ticked. And we walked around. I had one just goated moment though. And I can't stop laughing every time I fucking think about it. It was when a kid tried to get me to say a meme on stream and I just refused. So he was trying to get me to say 6'7", the stupid fucking 6'7" meme on stream. I'm not saying those numbers in that sequence.
Okay, Brooke is getting harassed by children. It's really funny.
No idea, dude.
Yeah, he needs to get a life.
He then tells me I need to get a life. Okay, I had to go adult mode.
Yeah, well, Santa ain't real.
Okay. Maddie was genuinely really mad when I said that. When the look on Maddie's face when I said that, she was like, "Oh God!" She like slaps me. The look on the kid's face, just devastation.
Not okay at all.
Yeah, everyone around me, not happy, by the way. Almost every single adult looked at me like I was like I just killed someone. I don't regret a damn thing. I would say it again. Other than that, that was the highlight of my Legoland, was telling a kid that Santa wasn't real. The rest of the day was kind of just chill. We went back to the Airbnb, we didn't do much. Now it's Thursday. This is day 0 of TwitchCon. So like the event isn't actually open, okay? But, you know, streamers are arriving, people are getting badges, people are hanging out, you know, it's kind of a cool vibe. Day 0 was awesome, okay? I got to meet a pretty cool guy. Maddie texted me that Tubbo said my name on his stream. And I was like, oh, really? So I joined the chat. Hey, where are you heading? He's like, oh, we're heading to the convention. We're gonna go pick up our badges. I was like, all right, I'll be there soon. So I Ubered to the convention. $100 Uber, by the way. And I bumped into Tubbo.
No freaking way. No freaking way.
Tubbo?
No. Bring it in, bro. Wait.
My favorite computer channel, Tubputers.
Dude, thank you. What are you doing here?
Someone messaged me saying,
hell?
Tubbo mentions you. Get over there. I was like,
Yeah. Well, welcome to the
chat?
broadcast. Wait, this is why I told them to blow up the hashtags. This crossover right here. This is why they're blowing up the hashtags.
Ultimate collab.
This is why, dude, they're all freaking out. They're like, what the fuck?
He'd invited me to come shoe shopping with him. We chilled. I had to be tech support for Lukey, who was his buddy that he was streaming with. We hung out for the day. It was super cool. He was super, man, his energy's great. I love Tubbo's energy. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a really, really smart guy. He also makes tech content now, which is super, super cool. Tubputers, and that's how I like really got in touch with him recently, was that kind of content. Yeah, I don't know, it was just good vibes. The best, I think my favorite moment though, from our, from us meeting out, was when we were all sitting down and having like lunch together, and he asks me if I ever want children.
Are you ever gonna have kids?
No, I got fixed.
Are you not able to go
mean?
to any?
Oh, I'm sorry. I go to.
Are you ever gonna have kids? No, I can't. I got fixed. What does that mean? I can't have kids. Oh, I'm sorry. Then came the official day 1 of TwitchCon. This is where the adventure kind of started to get worse for me. The amount of IRL streamers that were at TwitchCon, I think actually ruined TwitchCon for me. And I know I sound hypocritical because I IRL streamed at TwitchCon, right? I only went live for like what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours? I don't actually remember how long we were live for. It's not even necessarily, I guess, the amount of IRL streamers. It was the amount of people that had like a dedicated cameraman and like an entourage. Did you get kissed by a man? I did. I'll get to that story later. You're spoiling it, Dax. I don't know. The entire vibe of the con was like weird because of the IRL streamers. This sounds very mean, And because I came from a place where I had 2 viewers at one point, I know for a fact that there was people streaming with an entourage where there was more people in their entourage than viewers in their stream. It ruined it because I know several streamers that ended up like cutting off people in line because they're very self-centered. They'd be IRLing, they'd be like, yo, chat, you want to check out gamer subs? Chat. And they'd like budge to the front of the line because they think they have like authority because they have an entourage. I was thinking before TwitchCon, I was like, oh man, having a cameraman would be kind of cool. I don't think I will ever fucking stream with a cameraman, ever. I don't care if I have 50,000 people in my chat. And it just made people feel entitled, made people just overall, it was bad vibes, really bad vibes. That's the TLDR. But you know what made it worse is we're gonna talk about the security. I'm gonna get to the elephant in the room about security. We all saw the video, we all saw what happened. But for me, the security incidents started way sooner. They didn't allow backpacks into the convention. So I had my streaming bag, which I was gonna use to do my stream. I waited in line, the entire line, got to the front. They then said, go check your backpack, you can't bring it in. I said, oh, well, could someone search my bag to like verify that it's just streaming stuff? Like I kind of need it to do my live stream. They said no. And I tried to push a little bit harder. Is there any way like someone I can talk to like verify that like I'm a streamer, like this is what I do, I'm not just like, you know, whatever. Like I tried to be pushy, but not be like, do you know who the fuck I am? Like I didn't try to do that, right? Like they said no, they refused. So I had to go check my bag and then go wait in line again. Another 30 minutes to get in, by the way. By the time I got to the front, I get through the entire security. The motherfucker in front of me had the exact same backpack. Do you know why it's the exact same backpack and how I know it's the exact same backpack? Because the company I fucking work at sells this. This was the bag I was trying to bring in. I was furious when I saw that. I mean, it is a nice backpack, but why was mine not as nice? And then I started looking around, and you want to know the worst part? 2 people in front of that motherfucker had this backpack. This one. The problem I had was the security was inconsistent. I actually don't mind the idea of them not allowing a bag of a certain size. I think that's really important, and I think that is kind of cool that they even offered a checked bag area for the people that didn't know when they showed up. It was the fact that they were inconsistent. The other part that really bothered me was the fact that I know several people personally who had their medical supplies confiscated because they were in a backpack that was too big and they didn't have another bag as an option. I'm trying to stay cool and calm right now because the security was actually a fucking joke. Most of you probably saw the clip with Emaru where the guy walked past 4 security guards in an attempt to kiss her before finally her personal security guard was able to step in and help her. Was it hired security by Twitch or venue security? That I don't know, Nero, and I think that's a really good thing to figure out. I'm not defending Twitch in any case here, but I want to make it very clear that I think it is very difficult to identify if it's Twitch's issue or the security's issue. If it's the venue's security issue and Twitch wasn't allowed, for example, to hire security, I don't know, I'm being hypothetical. It's unfair to possibly blame Twitch. Fucking security should have just done their job. It doesn't matter if it's fucking the venue security or Twitch's security. The security should have done their fucking job. And Twitch is still the one who organizes the event. You are absolutely correct, Nero. And I hope that Twitch makes a stand. And if this is the case where it's the venue's security, I hope Twitch takes the stand publicly and says, hey, here's what happened. Here's the issue. We are canceling future San Diego events and we are finding a different venue. They should do that. They should 100% do that, and I actually think people would gain a lot more respect. Anyways, I'm going to revisit the security stuff a bit later because it kind of got worse after that. That was day 1 of TwitchCon. That was day fucking 1, okay? Now, night 1, I got invited to a party. It was the Blurp party. It was really cool. It was probably the biggest party at TwitchCon. It had everyone. Like, it was fucking crazy. Like, fucking Baby No Money was there. I got to meet him. It was super cool. I said hello. But before the party, I got to walk by someone who I hate with an absolute passion. Jack Doherty. It's really hard to see. But at this taco joint, okay, it was like one frame you can see the back of my head, like right here. I'm not going to watch the clip because I don't really want to support him. I don't really want to look for him. He's kind of a fucking twat. And if you know who he is, you know who he is. He's a fucking idiot. But Jack Doherty was there Basically, because he knew TwitchCon was in San Diego, so he was going around harassing a bunch of people outside of the venue. He didn't actually manage to get in until he snuck in on the 3rd day. Peach Jars ended up being a fucking beast and ended up encountering him like face to face on stream. I'm not going to show you the clip because Jack Doherty drops a lot of really homophobic slurs. But if you don't know who Peach Jars is, girl right here, she just ended up like encountering him, and the entire time he was going for shock factor and just like saying these homophobic slurs. And it was so funny because all Peach Jars had to do to win the argument was every time Jack Doherty said a slur, she just like looked at the camera and didn't say anything. Dude, it was so fucking funny. Peach was so based in this clip, and I absolutely love you, Peach, for this because it was so funny. Finally, we went to the Blurt party, and I got to meet so many amazing people. Like I said, I got to meet Baby No Money. I bumped into Ezfand. I bumped into NMP. I bumped into Kachi. I bumped into Kehoe, which I showed a clip of him during my subathon video. I got to bump it, and he said he saw that. I was like, oh, that's super cool. Who else? Oh, Code Miko. Code Miko was super, super nice. And I also got to meet a bunch of other streamers that I was like looking forward to meet, like Melmy and Foxy Katie. We've rated both of them. They've rated us. They're incredible streamers. You should go check them out. Did people recognize you from work? It was at this party that I really felt special. More than 50% of the interactions were people calling me Boca instead of Elijah. And I know that's probably sounds like that's kind of weird. Like, why is that special? It was the first time that I felt like a real streamer. Like, it felt like the work that I've been doing on Twitch was like paying off. And it was really special to see like Melmy from across the balcony go, Boca! And like we ran up to each other and like gave each other a hug. Like it was just really, really special. And then I Ubered back to the Airbnb and kind of crashed. And then I woke up and went for day 2. And day 2 of TwitchCon, the vibes were definitely weird. Because this was after the Emaru incident, they definitely upped security. The problem was I still think it was probably about 25% of what they should have had. Everyone was just kind of like not happy because you could tell people like obviously knew about what happened, and like people were just like, the security went even harder in terms of bag checks, but it was still inconsistent. People were still getting in with like full fucking bags and backpacks and everything. And it just kind of was not fun anymore, right? It was just kind of weird. So I ended up leaving early on day 2. After, again, I walked around and met some more people, signed some more things, got some more pictures. Night 2, I went to a different party. It was kind of a weird party. It was called the Smart People Party. Somehow I got in. But yeah, I got to talk to Connor Eats Pants that night. That was kind of cool. I thought Connor Eats Pants was so funny. I just walked up, I was like, I'll be real, I don't watch a lot of your content. Fucking love Fortnite Friday though. That was the entire conversation. And then later in that night, Scooters just came up. He looked at me. He's like, I love you, man. And I was just like, I don't know how to respond to this. So then he looked at me. He's like, yeah, you kiss like a straight dude. I don't know if I should be insulted by that. Am I supposed to be insulted? Oh man, I think you should feel insulted. I know, I was so mad, dude. After that, I was like, man, my wife's gonna be pissed when I tell her. Kate gave me a hug, he leaned in really close to my ear, he's like, it'll be our secret. And then he just walked away. That was the first story I told Taylor when I landed back at the airport. And then the final thing that happened that night, there was one other person I got to talk to, and I felt so bad, so this is my public apology, okay? A guy pulled me aside, and he was like, oh, dude, I'm a big fan. And he was referring to my role at my day job, right? Oh my God, I'm a big fan. I had no idea you were gonna be here. And I was like, yeah, you know, I just coming down and doing my own stuff, hanging out. He's like, yeah, like, you know, it was good to hang out and whatever. Good to see you. And then he asked me for a photo. And I was like, yeah, sure. Let's take a photo. We snap a photo together. We start talking a bit more. And then he was like, you probably don't know who I am. And I was like, sorry, I'm not clocking the face right now. It was fucking Pay Money Wubby. And the reason I'm apologizing is because I didn't clock that it was Pay Money Wubby, and I felt so bad. I felt so fucking bad. I didn't know what to do. I feel so bad. You know what? I had a saving grace. After I figured out who he was, I was like, no, I do actually know you. I do know you because I saw your tweet today about how you bumped into Jack Doherty. Because I was like, I bumped into him last night too. Fuck, it was just so funny, that whole circumstance of how that worked. That we just laughed and bonded over the fact that we both saw Jack Doherty for a bit. So I apologize, Wubby. I'm so sorry that I didn't recognize you. I have seen clips. I enjoy your content. I'm so sorry. And I went back to the airport the next day. My adventure was not done. You guys remember the streaming bag? They send it through the X-ray. This one had a full alarm. Thank you, San Diego, for doing that. I really didn't like that. It just went whoop, 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 whoop. And I was like, holy fucking shit. They pull it aside. They open it up. They reach in. They pull out a half-drank water bottle. They put it to the side, and they give it back to me. They say you can't have liquids on the plane. So the bag is not an issue. They're like, no, you're good. That's my TwitchCon trip. Security was weird. It was the best time ever because I felt like a real streamer for the first time. And I met some weird people. I think that's how I would sum up TwitchCon. I'm definitely going again next year, but I want a sponsor so I don't have to pay for it.